Oh, dude, he shot him in the dick.
Huh?
That's not cool, Butters. You don't shoot a guy in the dick.
What is up, everybody? Window lickers, grunts, friends, any chaos goblins out there? We're glad you made it here. And, well, you know what? It's been a pretty interesting couple days of wrestling, but we'll get into that. Let's first make our introductions because it is I, the man known as the voice of IYH, here on another, well, it's a Tuesday night. Usually this is the Monday Night Raw preview show, but you know, little voices in my house sometimes win awards and they got to go and do things and be accomplished people in their own fields as they make their own lives. And that's what happened yesterday, if we're going to be up in front about it. So we're back here. We're going to cover some Monday Night Raw because, well, guess what? This group of friends, we just love talking wrestling, and we had to have a day. So we just moved it to Tuesday. Nothing's happening on our Tuesday IYH, so we thought we'd fill that slot. I have him with me. He is Kevin Kalloway. He is the Chaos Goblin. He is our informed in-ring entertainer and teacher of what we love. Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm good. Literal teaching degree. Kind of wild sometimes.
Some of the conversations we have, I go, this dude's a teacher?
Oh my God.
But I love it. I love it. Well, it's good to see you. And then, you know what? Who we have next? He is our blue-eyed villain. He is our Philly fanatic. He is our Philly Flyers with no flying capabilities. He is the Grunmiester, the Philadelphia Love Storm. How are you doing, Grun?
Doing great.
You're doing great.
Yeah, it's going good. We got a match with Lou on his stupid buddies at the beach pay-per-view. Gonna kick his ass, bury him 6 feet deep in sand in a casket match.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be
my
exciting. Before we kick into it, everybody. So like we said yesterday on the Sunday house party, sponsored by W now. We are W sponsorship. With that comes with a shaker. Yes. And fans, you can get the promo code from IYH. It is Joshua Joseph or IYH Joshua Joseph. So go ahead and check that out. That's w.gg. Go enter that after you've selected all the things you want. And what I love about this, one scoop, boom, one scoop, water. I put ice in mine because I like a cold bevy. Give that a shake, and we're going to have a delicious watermelon lemonade drink that actually, the first one I had was Sunday. Grun, Kevin, I'll say, I felt pretty good afterwards. I felt hydrated. Good. And that's all this is a hydration drink that we get. So, again, that is Joshua Joseph, IYH. And go check that out. W.gg, 10% off. Go check them out and always put that in there because it does let them know that people are watching us and they are taking our suggestions. And real quick, if I must say, Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour sent me some merch. He's got a nice koozie here.
Oh, that is a nice koozie. Yeah, I like that.
And I love this. It's got
good.
all
That's
of
good branding.
That is
Look at that.
Excellent branding. It was a cool package. Sorry for going off mic there, but it came with a nice coaster with his logo on it. This green screen sucks. There we go. So that's really cool.
Put it in front of you so it doesn't go with the screen.
Exactly. So we got that. It's also got a nice little, let me see if that pops up. Got a little shot glass, and he's got some hand sanitizer in there, all with their logo. Great friend of the show and in personal life. So that is Nick. Jump out there, see what him and Nikki are doing. That's Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. They go live every Friday at 6 p.m. So go check them out. All right, we're done with all that malarkey. We are back in it. We are ready to get into it, guys. Let's talk some wrestling. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to get into? I mean, if you don't even want to talk wrestling right now, we can get into something, but let's talk about it.
You know what? I think we should start with the biggest story from Monday Night Raw. And no, I don't know. It's not the World Heavyweight Championship match. It is the main event that has been announced for Night of Champions. It is John Cena defending the undisputed WWE Championship against CM Punk. And CM Punk is notably noted. I've reminded myself that CM Punk said he would never wrestle in Saudi Arabia. So now it looks like CM Punk is doing business with Saudi Arabia. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
My general thought is CM Punk isn't doing business with Saudi Arabia. He's doing business for TKO. It is, as a wrestler in this business, it is dangerous to use words words like always, words like never, words that are definitives, because everything can change depending on what's offered. I don't know if it's money related. I don't know if it's anything like that. I don't even know if they'll tie this into the storyline, because I think it'd be fun. I think it would be very fun, because it looked like the way that Cena delivered it, it seemed like that might be the way that they go, where like, if you want this actual title shot, then you have to do this. So that could be fun as a storyline thing, because he publicly said it. So I'm sure people looked at it and said, well, you publicly said it, so we're just going to do it. Those things don't get forgotten. So my general perspective is, if you make those kinds of statements, you have to stick to them, because you will get roasted alive if you don't.
Yep.
And I think he is going to get roasted alive by some of the people that supported him. And I'm sure it's already happening. I haven't seen it yet. But when the people remember that he said that, that's when it'll start happening.
Oh, yeah. Here's my thing. Okay, so the reason why I had such an issue with CM Punk back in the day had to do with the whole straight edge imaging. And the reason why is because I remember him having to take a leave of absence because he developed a painkiller addiction. Now, from my understanding of straight edge, none of that is accepted. And so I felt like he was being extremely hypocritical. Now that I look back at it, maybe I shouldn't have jumped to that conclusion, because I don't know what his personal life was back then or what he was going through. But that's where I'm at with this. It's kind of like, I like how Kevin put it, because he's putting it logically. It's not him doing it, it's the company he's working for, in which this is a big money making event for them. It just is. I mean, and say what you want about the country itself, that's neither here nor there. They're trying to bring a different form of entertainment there every time they go there. Something for these fans to enjoy, much like we do. But Kevin, you said another very great point there. The words to try to stay away from if you're in the limelight. And those words, man, like, I was younger, I said I never would eat sushi. I love sushi now. It's an absolute delight. It's a treat. I enjoy it. It's fun. But, I guess that's where I'm at with it. At the end of the day, he's going to be there. He's going to be doing it. So it's just, I mean, I don't think this is going to stick with the fans too much. If I'm going to be honest,
I think it's going to be an initial reaction that is soon forgotten by another headline. That's what I think it's going to end up being. So it's going to be one of those things that explode for about, I don't know, 1 to 2 days. Fuck CM Punk. No, I support CM Punk. All that bullshit. And then it's just going to go away. It's just going to go away. The people who don't like CM Punk don't like CM Punk. There's really no change in their mind at this point. That's what I've seen. They're going to find a new way to hate CM Punk, or to hate that he's there, or whatever, or say he's hard to work with, or anything. There's a laundry list. People in the business, out of the business, whatever.
Right. That's a fair point.
The only thing that you can't argue with, though, to me, Punk does business in that he brings views and he gets people going and he can peddle anything that you need him to, as long as you can convince him that it's for the greater good. That's it. And that's all you need in your wrestlers. That's it. I don't care how bad. I truly, like, unless they are like serial killers, rapists, like really, really bad stuff, child abusers, things like that, I don't care. I truly just don't care.
No, I get you.
If they have an attitude backstage, cool, they're hard to work with. But are they making you money? Because if they're making you enough money to put up with it, then I don't want to hear you complain.
Trust me.
That's the business.
Dude, I found out today that apparently Macho Man was a bit of a thing to handle backstage. And Jim Ross talked some shit about he didn't try to be like disrespectful or anything, but the question came up about when Macho Man's first contract with WCW came up, and they were asking Jim Ross if Vince was interested in getting Macho Man back. And Ross was like, he's older now, but he was saying, it's kind of hard to remember because back then there was a lot of guys coming and going, and keeping up with that is a little harder. But he goes, I'll tell you this though, we could have made a giant star out of Macho Man, even bigger than what he was, but he held himself back with just the way he acted backstage and his constant demands and things like that. He was like, outside of that, these younger cats aren't like that. It's all those older guys. That's what they did, because when I was extremely younger, the ideas of those wrestlers were almost like Elvis, like with fame. You know what I mean? They walked into places, people knew them, they cheered for them. That was somebody that people paid attention to. And it fell off a little bit, but then, the resurgence of Attitude Era, all that, NWO, it brought it kind of back. And now it's actually back now, I think, in full swing. I talked to a guy at work today, and he was like, man, I quit watching wrestling about a year and a half ago. And I was like, oh yeah. He goes, I flipped it on because some new friends I made, they're like really into it. And he's like, hey, all the guys that I stopped watching because they quit wrestling, they're back and they're doing really fun things. I was like, yeah, you're missing out on a whole Cena tour. I was like, this is the first time I've ever been a Cena fan. I love what's happening right now.
And it's that kind of stuff that really, like, wrestling it's not the same as the heyday, so don't crucify me for that, but it's definitely back to some extent in the mainstream, and I can always tell that, like I said at the top of the program, I have a teaching degree. I am a high school teacher. My gauge for if something is back is students. Students have been taught, when I talk wrestling, or when I say I'm a pro wrestler to any student, they start talking WWE to me. So to me, that means it's probably back.
Yeah. No, I can see where you're coming from with that. Grun, before we go to your thoughts on your own question, let's see what Nick has to say here. He's talking about Macho Man. Macho Man was OCD. He planned out every little detail of his matches. Got to give him props for that. But the dude was on another level of crazy, and that's some of the truest words we've seen here.
You could replace crazy with cocaine, and you're probably right.
Yeah.
In fairness, that was just the thing for the time.
It was.
So just to comment on that, I think that back in that day, we got to remember, like, they probably weren't making, even when they were on TV every week, they probably still weren't making. Even if you looked at it in today's numbers, it probably still was maybe at best $100,000 a year, at best, maybe. Yeah. So they're probably still just barely scraping by financially even back then.
Are we talking about like during the 80s?
Yeah, like the 80s, like when Macho Man was babyface with the freaking. What the hell was this tag team with Hulk? The
Mega
Powers. I for some reason I was thinking that was him and I was Hulk and fucking Warrior.
No,
No.
that was a
Nope.
cocaine fueled tangent of two insane people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but oh, Lou?
Look at this. Nick's chiming in. A better rapper than John Cena, though. I don't know if the hit song from Macho Man, although it's an enjoyable beat, Hogan sucks or
I
Hogan's a
am
bitch.
pretty sure they're on the exact same level.
I would put Cena a little bit above.
There is
Like
a reason that Cena and Macho Man are more beloved for their Hollywood stints than their rapping stints. People still talk about Bonesaw, but boy, nobody talks about that Macho Man album.
yeah.
No, I mean, I do. I have a boss who still sends me songs from that album.
Oh my
Just
god.
because it's so funny that there's an album out. Hogan ain't nothing but a bitch. Like that's in the song.
So I got curious about something you said, Grun. I looked
Yeah.
something up. We got a free flow show, so I thought this was an interesting topic. I found a pay sheet from the 1980s.
Okay.
And hold on, maybe I can. I can find this. Share screen. Oh, that's a thing I can do. Woohoo! Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Let me add it to the scene. Here we go.
That's a pay sheet from the 1980s,
All
March
right.
14th. That is a spot show, it looks like. So
Okay.
generally speaking, in the 1980s, this is what I know from listening to, Jim Cornette, from hearing things from other people from the 80s, anything like that, just in locker rooms. Most of these are the undercard guys. So that's going to be like the 500s and below.
Right.
The main event got the gate or some of the gate. So, because the main event in theory is drawing everything. If this is the case, I'm pretty sure they're going to make, just looking at inflation, they might make $100,000 a year, but that's $100,000 a year 1980s money.
Yeah.
So
That's like 600.
yeah, we're talking a substantial increase.
Yeah, I grossly underestimated because
In fairness, not many people realize how much like the gates were or anything like that, because realistically, like, it's hard to really say how much that gate would be.
Yeah.
And I would just wager the people at the top of the card were making way, way more is the key. And the power of that money went a longer way than it does these days too.
I love that we found this new thing and now it's taken over.
Well, I mean, shut up.
I mean, this is our own fault.
We had
I found another thing.
What the heck has happened?
This is the inflation calculator.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay.
So $100,000 converts to about $400,000. So it's still quite a bit more money, but it's not. It isn't like a substantial amount.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, there's still people that would do quite a lot of different things today to have a nearly $400,000 a year salary.
This doesn't. That's honestly, they're the top of the card probably made more than $100,000 over the course of the year. If we're talking WWE payoffs and the main events are the ones getting some of the WrestleMania gates,
yeah,
like even if they got 10% of a WrestleMania gate, that shit's wild money.
I bet.
So I don't know what the expenses or anything were for 1980s. Again, I think it's substantially less than it is now. So the amount of money they're making should have been enough to put away, to do something with, to invest. But the problem with the 1980s is most of them didn't do that.
No.
They invested in a good time.
They invested in some real nice whiskey, or they invested in some real nice weed, or they invested in some white powder. But
I mean,
that was to get through working every day too, though, because that's another thing that the 1980s is, and that's why I might say it might be even higher, like way higher for some of the main event guys, because they're working probably 6-7 times a week. They're on the road. They're not really at home, so to speak.
I could find it believable that in Hulk Hogan's prime, at his peak, he was making probably a million more a year. One of the first people in the industry to be making that kind of money. And even at that time, like there's probably a guarantee that most of them didn't think they were going to make anything close to the money they ended up making by the time their careers ended.
Yeah. It looks like Hogan specifically, if you mentioned him, his top earning year was when he was in WCW in 98,
Makes sense.
which makes sense to me because WCW was overpaying him.
Yeah.
Oh, they were
Everybody.
Well,
overpaying
actually, in
everybody.
'98, they might not have been overpaying him because he was very instrumental in getting a
was.
lot of the draw for them initially. So that might have been a contract year where he got more money.
Yeah, but right after that, they wasted money because he sat at
Oh,
home
yeah.
for that almost entire year because of
Oh, I
all
agree.
the shit going with him and Bischoff.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been smarter. I don't. You know, would be a great question to ask AI
What's that?
if Hogan would have left WCW a year before than what he did. If that would have saved a little bit of WCW because that frees up a lot of your money.
Yeah, it does.
He was the biggest money taker there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to hit house up with that one.
That's an interesting one. We're gonna have to make an Ask AI show.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
take us down. We'll call it alternate timelines.
I love it. I love it. We got Nick chiming in saying Bret Hart
did.
got a pretty good deal with WCW
I'm sure he
as
did.
well. Not Hogan levels, but pretty close. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Especially back then, after the Montreal screw job and everything, he was a hot commodity.
I'll tell you what his contract was. I just looked it up because a lot of this is public info now, which is great. He had a 3-year, $9 million contract, so about $3 million a year. And
Nice.
That's not bad.
pretty sure because that happened right in 97, so that would have taken him to 2000, but he got injured pretty quickly into that, correct? So he just like made money. Not in a good way because he got injured and couldn't do the things that he wanted to do, but at least he had a nice nest egg.
Yeah, that's true. And Nick's chiming in saying Hogan wouldn't have saved it, Josh. Not enough savings just on him. No, I see what you're saying there, Nick. But I think if you were able to take away a couple of those people that went on to WWF, WWE to become names, like for instance, RVD. If WCW would have been able to got RVD and then let him just be who he is, don't change anything about him, just like the WWE did, just let him go and do that stuff. I think that would have created enough of an interest in people going to that type of programming, WCW, because towards the end they were trying to go like a mid ECW and WCW. The very last stint that they did.
Can I pose a question? I guess instead of giving a definitive answer because I want to give you guys some time because I always talk a lot.
I like
that. If Hogan, Nash, and Hall, who were the top of WCW, actually put people over before they left, would we be spinning a different tale right now?
Probably.
And who would you put over at that time? We're talking like 99, right? 99, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe end of 98. In fairness, they could have put people over during any of their fucking NWO run, though.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
I'm not saying they needed to put everybody over, because if they'd have put everybody over, losing wouldn't have meant as much. But in a calculated way, who do you think they should have put over, maybe even in stronger ways than they did? Because they put over some people, but like there was always some kerfuffle that gave them an out.
Nick's got an idea.
Booker T's a good one, because that'd be one of my biggest ones.
Now, I was thinking Booker T, I was like, well, they made him champion 5 times, and I Again, I did not watch WCW. I did not go back and watch it. So I am basing this just on the very bare bone facts that I know. And I thought Booker T already was generally a big deal, but thought that he
Okay,
could get
Grun.
more.
Let me double check who he beat, because that might be a bigger tell.
Well, here's my thing with Booker T and WCW. He was a fan favorite, Grun. So
Okay.
he was like your R-Truth, where the fans just loved him and his brother. When Harlem Heat were together, they just absolutely grabbed all the attention of the crowd. And when Booker T went solo, his brother went to the NWO. Okay.
Okay.
So Stevie goes to the NWO. So us as fans, we're looking at Booker T and we're like, well, you're going to follow your brother, right? He didn't. He stayed on WCW's side. So he became like a John Cena of WCW. So anytime he had a main event match, that's who we wanted to win. That's who we wanted them to put the title on. So yes, did they make him a 5-time champ? Most certainly. I think WWE gave him a couple of those.
They didn't. Oh no, they gave him one. They gave him one.
So WWE gave him
Yeah.
one.
I can tell you how Booker T became champ the first time, though, and this is not the way to put over a babyface.
No, your face is telling me that this is gonna sound horrible.
Let's
July
hear it.
9th, 2000. Does that date ring a bell?
Well, yeah, here we go. Lou was already there with you.
Yeah. It was Bash at the Beach.
Oh my god!
Well, and
What happened?
So that was the shoot end controversial match with Hogan and Jarrett.
Oh
when
my
Russo
god!
came out and did all the stupid stuff, and Russo'd it up some more.
yeah.
And then Booker T ended up winning after they reversed the decision to declare Jarrett still the champion over Hogan, who had just won. And then Booker T just beat him in an impromptu match for seemingly no reason. So that was his first ever title reign. Not getting put over Hogan, not even really going over Jeff Jarrett, because he already had a match and a half that night.
Well, you see with what Kevin's putting there, Grun, that should explain it more. If you have a fan base that is so behind him, the fact that it took till 2000s and it was just like pretty much just handed over to him, like there wasn't a celebration for him.
I got worse news.
Oh God!
No,
Second title run. All right, so Kevin Nash beat him. He held it for about 20 days. Jeff Jarrett was the special guest referee, so they screwed Booker T out of it too, which would give him an out, not necessarily a bad thing. However, Booker T won it back in a cage match. Do you want to guess how long that title reign was?
3 days.
8. 8 days. You want to guess who he lost it to?
Kevin Nash.
Was this the David Arquette?
No. Oh god.
Arquette went over somebody else.
Well, there was multiple people in that one.
Yeah, it was. He might have went over Booker T, but Booker T wasn't the champ.
Okay.
Was it Russo?
It was Russo.
Oh God!
Oh my god!
And then Russo vacated the title so as to call it a piece of garbage, and then Booker T won it back, which now he just won a meaningless piece of metal as dictated by his own writer.
So I think I can stop you there, and you can, because you've just confirmed to me that the other what would be 2 title reigns that you haven't mentioned yet. It is crystal.
It was too little, too late at that point.
Yeah, it's crystal clear that Booker T was a loyalist who was willing to do everything he had to be the top guy in the business, because he didn't have this ego that Hogan, Hall, and Nash had. And WCW just said, still fuck you.
Yeah, at least Nash put him over in the end.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing I could say about Nash, because Nash lost in a cage match, so there's no way to cheat in a cage match, and they didn't do no special referee stuff. I'm sure there was shenanigans because Russo was still there. But at least, like, Booker T went over one of the 3. But, man, it needed a Hogan loss at the beginning instead of Hogan kerfuffery.
Yeah.
Yep, I do remember that too.
Yeah, Grun, back then there was a handful of guys that were just loyalists to WCW, and we as fans, we knew that. You had Diamond Dallas Page, you had Booker T. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but didn't Stevie Ray end up going back over to the WCW side because NWO ended up like kicking him out or something? I can't.
That sounds right to me.
I remember. I think I
I don't
remember
know.
him.
There was a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah,
For
it
Wolfpack,
got
NWO,
so
WCW,
confusing.
Yeah. Honestly, you could just pull a name off of the WCW roster, and I'll just assume they had a stint in the NWO.
Probably.
No.
Like I know very few things about WCW's reign or time, and the one thing I do know is that WCW basically put almost everybody in WCW in the NWO at one point.
Well, it was it seemed like at the time, and people have outwardly said this is what happened, but I wasn't there. Basically, whoever started gaining a lot of momentum, Hogan, Nash, and Hall would look at them and go, "Ooh, that's a threat to us being on the top. Let's put him in our group." And that way they didn't have to lose to them.
I mean, smart business play. If that's all you're about.
I mean, it is if you want to make a lot of money right now instead of more money over time.
I mean,
do you think as an in-ring performer, Kevin, do you think that there's times where those specific guys, the Clique, where they sit back and they kind of look at it and go, man, maybe if we wouldn't have done things the way we wanted to do it and the way we wanted to make money, that people would be talking about us as much as they talk about, let's say, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Taker, guys like that. When a lot of the times when we talk about WCW, it's more cringe moments. It's not, it's not more adoring. Like we talk about what we adored about WCW because, we found the things that we loved. But when we talk about like The Rock and Austin, the Attitude Era, we our group lights up and we have fond memories of that. Do you think that there's any type of thinking that ever goes on in Kevin Nash's head about those things?
I think so. First of all, for the corollary, because you talked about all three men, Hulk Hogan doesn't have a single thought in his mind about it being a bad idea. So let's get him off the table.
Okay, we'll take him off.
Let's get him off the table.
Perfect.
He still is inventing his own realities about what happened in the past.
He still thinks they weren't booing him.
He still thinks he main evented SummerSlam at Wembley.
Maybe in his head he did.
Anyway, I've heard so many Hogan stories. They're so good, but they are meaningless. My favorite one, quick aside. My favorite one is that he wrestled 400 days in a year. You want to know how he did that? Because he traveled to Japan, so he went back and forth on the days because that's how time works.
Get the fuck out of here.
He publicly said that.
You think he have like a DeLorean plane?
Apparently.
That's my favorite Hogan story. I laugh so hard whenever someone talks about it.
What a numbskull.
Anyway,
we've gotten so far off track.
Look,
That's
I love
what we do. That's what we do here.
I love it, but I want to be the responsible one this time and bring us back.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We've talked about WCW for about 20 minutes.
We have. Now. That's fair. What else do you want to hit, Grun?
You know what? It's something else that I want to hit is the Fatal 4-Way match next week for the men's, where only 3 competitors are named.
Oh man!
Can
we do King of the Ring predictions?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go through.
Let's do it.
Someone share the screen of the brackets.
Yes. All right. So
Getting it pulled up.
So we got Sami Zayn, who qualified on Raw, as well as Roxanne Perez have qualified for the semifinals. Next week on Raw, we're gonna have Bronson Reed, Rusev, and Sheamus. 3 big beefy boys with a fourth yet to be named. And supposedly, like, this could be someone making shit up on X, because no one ever does that.
No one.
Yeah.
Nope.
They said, and I don't remember seeing this, they said a video package for Ilya Dragunov played on Raw last night. I don't remember seeing that. I don't remember hearing that.
It didn't happen.
No. So
I don't know if it happened for the live crowd, though.
For the live crowd, it could have happened. Now, I believe it was WrestleVotes at that point that posted this out, but at the same time, they didn't specify if it was just for the live crowd or anything. So they just said it aired on Raw. Like, well, look, if we didn't see it watching from home, how can we verify this?
Right.
So, I guess, who do you guys think is going to be the fourth man, and who are your predictions to win the King and Queens of the Ring?
Interesting.
So my general prediction is that Sami Zayn will win King of the Ring.
I see that. I can see that.
Who he challenges, I don't know. I would prefer him to go after Cena. Because I think that's more compelling. But with Gunther as the new world champion, not the worst either. I think you get a quality match one way or another.
Yes. Agreed.
As far as who I have going through the brackets, really, other than Cody Rhodes, I don't know. My assumption is whoever's returning is going to go over in that match. Bronson Reed is going to get an out from someone else attacking him. Could be LA Knight. Seems like they're going that way. LA Knight's not going to win this match now because someone's going to screw him because he just did it to them.
I believe that, yeah.
It's gonna be Braun Breaker who like spears Knight and it's over.
Probably.
I don't think they're gonna put Orton through again, but I don't know what his out will be, if any.
I think I got your out.
Okay.
Hayes screws Orton. Orton hits the no, do you know what? Black hits the Black Mass on Orton. Hayes does the same, something similar that Roxanne Perez did. Steals the pin on Orton or Black.
Probably Black. I don't think they're gonna have a visual of Orton getting pinned yet.
Yeah.
But whoever goes through there loses to Zayn anyway. Like even if Orton goes through, it's just to put over Zayn. Yeah,
this feels like Zayn's year. This feels like Sami is going to become world champion.
Once we cleared the Braun Breaker hurdle of the Fatal 4-Way, that made me think, all right, Zayn's going to be the one.
But does Bronson Reed at any point, where do you think he wins this match?
No. Because he's going to win all like the other matches.
Okay.
Like he's going to be in a team. He's Fatal 4-Ways are perfect for guys that you want to protect. You put him in the match just to get screwed over by somebody else. Take Braun Breaker. LA Knight ran through the crowd. Blunt force trauma. Boom. He's got an out. Good to go. You could do the same for Cody right at the beginning, but I really think you're going to tease Cody winning this whole thing to get after Cena.
I think so, yeah.
And you know what? I don't think Zayn is going to win clean over Cody. I don't think he's going to heel turn.
Okay.
No.
I think someone's going to screw Cody over and Zayn's not going to see it. That's the story of this.
I got what you're saying.
You saw what Cross did on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Cross said, there you go. That's the guy. Let's do that.
What if Zayn does catch Cross or at least sees Cross outside the ring? Cody's down and out. Now, and Sami is left to make a decision. He in his mind, he knows Cross did something. But does he wait for Kevin or Cody to get back up, or does he just take the win?
I think if he sees Cross, he loses. If he doesn't see Cross, he wins. And then Cross can be on the outside cheering him on, and Sami's like, oh shit, what have I done?
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Because that feels like the story here.
We're in the same ballpark. We're in the same ballpark. We're agreeing something between Sammy and Cross is happening.
And Cody's not going to eat a clean loss. It doesn't even matter if it's Sammy or another babyface. He's not going to eat a clean loss until he faces Cena.
That's a good question.
I couldn't tell you.
we would love to tell you, and I assume that's House chiming in and letting us know some questions, or it might be Jones at
Who knows?
he could be on the line just
Who knows?
listening.
Yeah, I think my finals are going to be Sammy Cody though for my prediction.
I like it.
Y'all guys get the floor.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with you that Sammy and Cody are the finals. As for the mystery person in the other Raw men's Fatal 4-Way, I don't think it's an accident that Ilya Dragunov has popped up. I think putting Ilya Dragunov in a match with Sheamus, Rusev, and Reed, I think that puts him over in a big way. Give him the win for the comeback. He can take the L to Cody. That doesn't hurt him too bad. He just got a big win over 3 big beefy boys. And has a banger of a match against Rhodes.
If it is Ilya, I can see Ilya winning this whole thing. Because that could set up Ilya Gunther on the main roster.
Oh,
give us that, please. God, I want.
I'm just saying. If that's the case and Ilya is the one that you want to have face Gunther next, I would have Cody eliminated in the first Fatal 4-Way and have it be like Logan Paul coming out and punching him. Who cares?
Hey, I love it. I love it.
Give Cody an out so that when he loses, it's not the visual of him getting pinned, just like Braun Breaker.
I love it. Grun, you're getting some love from the Lou. He likes the way you say
that's true. He does have good emphasis on the right syllables.
He does. Okay, let's put a pin in this discussion because, we know our favorite team that is in IYH. We'll be covering some more tomorrow. The Raw deal with House and O'Neal. So real quick, before we get out of this, let's go through what was your top moment of Money in the Bank?
Ooh.
Ron Killings.
I think I have to go with him too.
Yeah. Hey,
I watched it back, knew what was happening, and I still shed a very manly tear that it happened.
I agree.
Actually, I got a question for Kevin. Kevin, do you think we are finally at the point where kayfabe is alive and kayfabe is protected?
No. But I'll add a disclaimer. I think that the people who are running these companies know how to mess with your perception of what kayfabe is. And they know what to feed people now. There's a lot of people who they realize, like, they know who their moles are. Mm-hmm. And they just feed those moles misinformation so that they can spread it.
This is what you were talking about, Grun, on Sunday.
And I think that that's true. And they know what they're doing with that. Or they are literally having meetings and going, hey, look, guys, this is what we're going to tell everybody. This is what we're going to tell the talent. And then we're going to pull aside like 3 talent and be like, none of that's actually true. We're doing this. Just be ready.
I can buy into that because everybody played a part in this. As soon as it was released, he let go. He was let go. Boom. He cleared all his social medias. He was going on this whole thing. And then all of a sudden the resurgence is Ron Killings, and his Monday night promo package is him letting you know fun and games is over. You're going to put some respect on my name. And I absolutely love this. I've gone as far as saying that I think, and I'm putting it out there in the universe like I did yesterday, I think Ron Killings is going to be the one to stop John Cena. It's going to be his last match, and I think that's the route they're going.
He became a contender to do it because realistically, there's 3 people now I can point at instead of 2 that can beat Cena. And those 3 are Cody Rhodes, which feels predictable, which is what they've been doing.
Yeah.
So it could go that way, and I don't think it would be a bad decision. Don't get me wrong.
Lou's on board.
There's Sami Zayn who could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
100.
Sami Zayn getting his first title run off of a Cena who just got his last, I think would be a huge push for Sami Zayn and put him into the upper echelon for the ever and ever.
And that's a
So
beautiful chapter to his whole story.
Oh,
And that's something that Cena has always done in the end. After the Nexus incident, Cena's been like, oh God, I got to put over some younger people.
Yeah. And Sammy
messed
would
this
be
one
the
up.
perfect one. For
And
this
Sammy's
one.
one of the perfect ones for him to go out on his back for. Like
Yeah.
it is that. But now a third one has entered the play.
Yeah.
Because Ron Killings, he has already inserted himself into the main event picture by having a moment within that match and by having the people behind him in such a way like Daniel Bryan had behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I just don't know if they're going to go that way that quick. And I don't know if it'll be Cena or if they're going to do like R-Truth wins his first world title at Mania. Because I think that could be it too. It could be longer term. I just don't know. Because I think if Sammy beats Cena, my prediction would be that Rollins cashes in on Sammy the second it happens.
Yeah. We got 5 months because I think if you're gonna put the title on Ron Killings, you do it at Cena's loss. Cena has to be the one he beats. I think if Ron Killings beats anybody else, it doesn't mean as much.
I agree, but that could be said about anybody.
True.
Anybody who beats Cena is going to get a huge rub.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Honestly, Grun, I think that me and you are in that boat because it just sounds so perfect.
It does.
That's where we want it to go.
And I want it to go to Sammy because of really similar goddamn reasons.
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
I think both choices are very good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with that Sammy wouldn't be
And
a
I don't
great
even
pick.
think Cody's bad business to do it either.
No, Cody's not.
No. You got
overreact to Cody's stuff, but like he's taking L's, he's doing the babyface thing. So it's gonna work.
It's like driving down the highway and you have 3 options to get to the same destination, and each one is going to show you something beautiful on the way there. And I personally, I think this is one that we're going to lock into because what they're doing with John Cena is taking people who legit, if he came on my TV when I was younger, there's a good chance I'd turn the match and I would watch something else. That's how much I did not like him. And he has got fans like me because I know I'm not alone in that. I know many people who are like that. They are cheering on what is happening right now because you're showing us what we all thought John Cena could be, and he's doing it masterfully. And like I said in the chat, I am not right there yet, but if this all plays out the way that I think it is with killings and everything, I am going to go down and say John Cena is the greatest wrestler of all time. Storytelling, getting guys over, doing all of that. I've completely washed away his past in my personal opinion of him. If this story plays out the way it's going, and there's 3 options for it to go.
There's 3 good options. Like there's a safe bet, and then there's 2 really good speculative bets. I think Sammy has better upside going forward. Ron Killings is probably the best choice for a moment.
Yeah.
And Cody Rhodes is just like safe. And safe isn't bad either.
No.
You're going to get something solid.
And Cody proves he can do safe and he can make it entertaining. People still, he's still
he'll still make Cena work.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love where we're at.
I do too.
In this discussion. Grun, any final thoughts on this?
This is going to be a very exciting year for pro wrestling.
I agree.
I couldn't agree more, Grun. You're becoming beautiful baby boy man. That's what you're becoming. And we're loving it. We love seeing it happen before our eyes, Grun. It's amazing. Little Philly baby boy. Baby boy man.
Baby boy Philly.
Little baby boy Philly.
My little
Oh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, good. And then we get this.
Lou,
We get this. You smell like
Lou,
goat milk?
I'm sending your ass in a casket 6 feet deep on a beach, okay? You gotta know that, okay? Don't worry. Your burial site is gonna be on a beach, you dirty little bitch.
Whoa. Okay, so for context, fans, there's an
Switch the
E-Fed.
street run.
There's an E-Fed. We're all a part of
Pulling out his Mac 20.
They have a casket match coming up. We swear this is all in context. Oh, he's calling you a beach.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, he's gonna beat you off so hard.
Oh, you're getting beat. Oh, fans, this is exactly what Window Liquors and IYH is about. You've seen the fun that we had. You've seen the stuff we actually talked about, and it was a great discussion with you guys in the chat. So right now, where we go from this, well, Lou's saying with both hands, he's going to beat you off. Well, good luck for that one. Sounds like you might be coming, baby boy, man.
Coming to the beach.
Coming to the beach. Oh, yeah, get a towel, Grun. It's going to
Coming
get
to the
wet.
beach, brother.
So, guys, let them know where they can find you and where they can see all the fun that we have here.
I'll start. You can find me at twitch.tv/Grunmeister every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I do my Grun's Room SmackDown preview review show. And we talk everything SmackDown, WWE, and sometimes I throw in a rant.
That is true. And look, Grun, I made you a nice
Oh,
one.
that's nice. That's a nice
Hey,
banner.
There's nothing
nice.
insulting. It's just all about you and
Exactly.
your fun.
That's all I need.
That's great. All right, Kevin, let them know
I
where
was
they can find
expecting
you.
a second banner to come up.
No.
The setup of that would have been perfect.
It would have been, but I'm becoming an adult, Kevin.
Oh, wow. That's surprising.
That's a lie.
Kevin, come on. We got to keep up some type of kayfabe here. It's not all dead, bud.
Oh man. You can find me at Kevin Kalloway on Facebook, Kalloway Kevin on Instagram. I take shows every so often. At this point, I work heavily with Lucha Boom. Whenever they have the next show, we'll have that up. Sanctuary Fight Club coming back in July. I'm at New Edge Pro. I'd have my title, but I left it in the car and I'd hold it up on stream for funsies. Maybe I'll do that next week. I have a title defense at the end of the month. That'll be on Friday, the 27th of June in Troy, Michigan. Other than that, you can find me. I'll be streaming Thursday and Friday this week. Had some things. Well, not really had some things. More like wanted to actually enjoy my vacation now that I'm on it for the last 2 days. So I'll be back streaming to your screens on Twitch. Kevin Kalloway Pro on Thursday and Friday, probably midday. Maybe I'll do it with my morning coffee. Do some Diablo grinding for you, or maybe some Doom Nightmare mode. First run.
I enjoyed the one I stopped in on. It's
Oh
fun.
yeah, the Diablo grinding. Yeah. I'm getting that cat, man. I'm so fucking close.
I hope you get it, and I hope I'm watching when you do, because
when I get it, I'm gonna share screen a picture of the cat. Just right up on this.
I can't wait. And the next couple weeks, I'm gonna start getting some of your graphics and things like that put up to promote your Twitch channel and get that going.
Thank you.
Well, fans, you've seen exactly what we did here. It's the Raw Preview Review Show. And, this is just a fun time. We do it on Mondays at 7 p.m. There was some things that happened, so we moved it to Tuesday to have some fun with you. And it was just a silly goose time, and you should have enjoyed yourself because, well, we did. We enjoyed having you, and you can catch it next Monday at 7 p.m. Outside of that, there's a thing I do on Thursdays. It's called an ECW watch along. It's where me and House, we watch ECW. We jump back in time and we watch ECW wrestling, not just the pay-per-views, not just a match, but the weekly show that they had, because Secret Time, I'm a huge fan of it. Right now I'm wearing my Sat F and Boo shirt because that's what I do. Everybody at work was like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, you don't know, you're not cool, so I don't talk to you.
You're
I don't
not hip like
time.
me.
Yeah, you're not hip. You're not with it. You don't know. So join me and House on 5 p.m. on Thursdays, where we go back and we watch some beautiful violence. You can catch House and Annie on the Raw Deal with House and O'Neill on Wednesdays. Let me tell you, this is one of the biggest shows we have on the platform. People love this. They love the interaction between these two, and we do too. These are the two that we go to when we actually want some like actual insight, not just, guys making dick jokes. But we do love a good dick joke here. So, and it's fun. It's fun time. So go join them. That's usually right around 5 p.m. on a Wednesday. And lastly, we have the big granddaddy of the show that we do. It's the Sunday house party. We want you to be there. It's when anybody in the household is available and want to talk wrestling. We come on screen and we talk to you. It's usually around noon, and we talk all things that happened that week. And House usually throws in some really cool out there topics that we talk about. It could be music related. It could be wrestling related. It could be video game related. You won't know unless you stop in and listen to what we got to say. So come join us here at IYH. We just want to say we love you guys for, sticking with us and joining in. Lou, Nick, you guys are amazing in the chat. I can't appreciate you guys even more. And anybody out there who wants to get more of this, there's Instagrams that we got out there. I just started mine, and I've been sharing a lot of the stuff that we've been doing behind the scenes with pictures and things like that. All the promotion stuff that we do. So we want you to be a part of it, and IYH is growing, and we want you to be a part of that too, because you never know where we're going to be next year or even a month or two from now. So be a part of it, subscribe, everything we do, and we will catch you on the next one.